Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we turn to talking about a very controversial and strange figure in the entertainment business. I'm of course talking about Mia Khalifa. Mia Khalifa is known for having some interesting acting abilities, to say the least. I'm going to have to tiptoe around this subject a little bit today, but for those of you who don't know, basically Mia has acted in some adult films. She's done some very interesting performances on the internet, and that's just the beginning of the story, though. Basically, she came out a few years back. She started this career path, and she got a little famous at one point. She became a meme because of her background and how she's from a certain area in the Middle East that's just not normally around this kind of behavior. They're not really for any kind of sexuality or any kind of even just freedom for the women. Like, they're more conservative in these areas. So the fact that Mia came from a place like that and a place that had a dominating religion that was against this stuff, that was kind of her gimmick. That was kind of what got her famous back in the day a few years ago, because she was from this different background and she was doing these naughty movies. And then from there, what happened later was, and what we're talking about today, is she eventually retired from that business and tried to spin off her career into something a little more, or let's say a little less revealing. She tried to do sports commentary. She went on a few interviews, and basically ever since she retired from that business, she's been trash talking it a lot too, which is pretty I would say pretty unfair and messed up. It was the reason that she got famous, and it was the reason that everyone knows her name. Like, Mia Khalifa is her adult actress name. It's not even her real name. And she still uses that name, which is kind of interesting. And it shows how she got all her fame from there. And in a new report, and what we're talking about today, is one of her former employers came out with an exposed video, basically just breaking down why Mia was wrong about everything she said. She constantly complained about this business, and she said a lot of things that are not true, and they're proven to be false in this video we're about to go over. So we're going to get to that soon. We're going to talk more about this story, go over that video, and get into all this good stuff very soon. But first, let's take a quick moment to check out our sponsor. Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about another great offer and your chance to get another awesome free gold coin. This time we're giving out a 2020 firefighter coin, and it could be yours today. All you got to do is pay for the shipping cost. Yes, this time the Brave Patriot is offering this beautiful firefighter coin, which gives us a chance to support our men in red, the ones that are saving our lives in one of the scariest times possible. That's right. These firefighters are really great American heroes who deserve our respect and honor, and that's why I say we should all try getting one of these gold coins today. Not only is it free, you only have to pay for the shipping, but also, as you can see here, it has a nice plastic case. It's really, really well made. It's got cool designs on it. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a really good coin. It's solid gold, and you're supporting not only America, but our firefighters. Like, these guys save our lives. They're much less controversial than other services right now. So why not support the firefighters? Why not become part of this and get yourself a coin today? Get yourself a free coin by clicking our special link below. Thanks for your time, and now back to the show. Great, now that that's out of the way, let's get to the video in question. This comes from her former employer's Instagram page. It's called This Is You Part 2, and basically it's exposing Mia for misleading people about her former career. She said she only worked for a couple months when in fact she was at it for a couple years. She also says she only made a small amount of money. I believe she said she made $12,000 when in fact she made like over $100,000 and had a lot of benefits from this system too. Not only did she make more money and get like perks like her house and utilities paid for, but in addition, all the fame and stuff that she's getting now comes from this career. So she got famous in these adult films, and now she's trying to bash it and act like she's better than this, but it's just not true. And she's also proven to be a liar. So that's why we're going over it today and trying to get more of this exposed out there. So let's go and check it out.
Mia Khalifa has decided to appear in another interview to further bash the adult industry. Instead of going with someone that would come prepared with hard-hitting questions and actually get the truth out of her, she chose to interview with a guy known for content such as making bed versus messy bed. And I ate a lube sandwich and this is what happened. In this interview, she continued her lies and manipulation tactics.
So we'll get to some of those lies and tactics soon, but first let's talk about what they just said about the interview. She did this interview with Anthony Padilla. This guy used to be part of the Smosh team on YouTube. They're a comedy channel, and now he has his own spin-off channel. which is fine, like whichever. I've never really followed them. I saw some Smosh comedy videos back in the day, but yeah, it seems like Anthony's new spin-off channel is very cringe, as she just pointed out in this video, and it's just kind of giving you a baseline, showing you that she's doing this interview, these low ball, low effort interviews to try and spread misinformation. She's not trying to be challenged or try to get the truth out there. She's just doing easy press circuits to kind of spread these lies that are about to be exposed.
Let's check out the rest of this site. Oh, it is quite ironic with how much hatred you have towards the adult industry that you would find yourself on another adult website.
So that's a good point right there. It's talking about how Mia acts like she's better than her former career, but now she's basically doing the same thing. Like she just has this new website with like lewd and nude photography. I believe it's similar to like an OnlyFans situation. You know, OnlyFans is a big craze right now. Girls post scandalous pictures on there. Sometimes they're just cute or sexy. Sometimes they're fully naked or whichever. And the point is, yeah, Mia is still capitalizing off of her sexuality and her body and her nudes, and it's just funny because she bashes the industry that she was with before, and it just doesn't all add up. It's really misleading and wrong.
Well, off the videos I made $12,000. The other $160,000 unaccounted for over the span of 3 years is me being on salary for being a social media manager for Bang Bros.
Well, Mia, let us help you account for some of those unaccountable funds. Here we have a spreadsheet of what she has earned from webcamming. She continued webcamming consistently until July 25th, 2017.
So in the email, she's telling a totally different story when talking to her employer. She sounds grateful. She's leaving with a little bit of grace. I mean, she should have had a notice, like she said, but at least she's being cordial and nice. And then, yeah, I think what they're pointing out is she made a lot of money. She tries to downplay it like, oh, I just made $12,000 for the videos, and then the other $130,000, $160,000, whichever it was, like a ton of money. And she says she made that from social media management. So I see this as her just misleading people, just trying to reframe things and act like, oh yeah, I made $180,000 or so, but it wasn't all because of the videos. I was actually partly doing a legitimate job of social media managing. But I think what this video is, the employer's video is saying, is that was from webcamming. I mean, that's the same kind of stuff that the videos are. It's just a live format where they're usually, you know, doing something sexy, wearing something, taking something off. And it's really not that different. And I think that's what they're trying to point out here. And they make a good point.
It's also interesting to note that Mia fails to ever disclose that Bang Bros paid for her rent, health insurance, and other expenses as part of her financial package up until the end of July 2017. Once again, she's claiming she was forced to sign her contract.
We'll get to the contract force in a minute. That wasn't actually forced. But yeah, the other thing is she was getting her house and insurance paid for. I mean, that's a lot of money. I don't know where she lived, but saying someone gets like $500 or $1,000 for rent a month is like a low ball estimate. Like she might have probably been living in a bigger city like a Los Angeles or something and maybe got $2,000 a month for rent. It could have been even more. I don't know. But I would say at minimum, she's getting $500 extra a month for rent, which would give her a total of like $6,000 extra a year, you know, probably more than that. And you also got to think about the health insurance. Health insurance is really expensive. I mean, I don't think you could get health insurance for less than a couple $100 a month, like maybe $200-$300. I'm not sure. It depends on your situation, but that's a lot. Like we're talking about them giving her at least $1,000 a month just in benefits. And that's a good chunk of change. Like you got to count that as an asset and as a gain in her part.
It should be illegal to force a woman to sign a contract right then and there.
They force you to sign it then and there.
Well, they
in
don't
the seat.
force you, but they put it in front of you and say, this is your contract, sign it. It's intimidation in the sense that I'm 21 and there's 4 men around me.
So you
Okay, before they even get to their response, I don't like the way she frames that. Like, oh, she's just 21 and she doesn't know what to do with a couple men standing around her. It's like, no, you're an adult. You got yourself into this situation. I don't think this framing of it is true at all either, which we'll get to. But even if it was, I mean, a couple of guys standing around a 21-year-old offering them a big contract that's going to give them lots of money. I don't see that as a bad situation as she claims. Like she's trying to play down that she's young and innocent, but we know she's clearly not.
say you were forced. but then immediately admit that you weren't. It seems that this quote-unquote force is entirely in your head. Getting back to the facts, let's look at how Bang Bros operated when giving Mia a contract. Look it over and let's talk. Then we can fill it in/execute it. That same day, she immediately returned the email without questions or comments, replying with, "See attached," indicating that she had signed her contract. By the way, before even sending the contract, Bang Bros had set up an appointment with her, scheduled for 3 days after she received her contract, giving her time to review it and bring up any questions or concerns. Allowing someone 3 days to review an agreement and setting up a meeting to go over her concerns, basically inviting concerns, is not how force or intimidation works, Mia.
Okay, we'll get back to that email in a second, but yeah, that's just not forced at all. If it sounds like this was all done online, they mailed her the contract and she signed it right away without any questions or concerns. When she frames it like she's sitting in a room with 4 guys like hovering over her, which wasn't true either, because as this video said, she retracted that forced claim right away. She said, "Oh, well, I mean, they didn't actually force me. They were just standing there asking me if I wanted to sign a contract." I mean, that's not forced. You say it's forced, then you say it's not, and then we have this email evidence of it totally not being.
Bang Bros replies with, "Executed." Mia, thanks. No need for me to come in on Monday then? No need. You're good to go.
You guys, I'm on contract with Bang Bros now for 6 months. I'm only shooting with Bang Bros.
Yeah, that clip proves a lot too. It's like, does that look like someone who was just forced into something? Does that look like someone who was like really, really stressed and not really thinking clearly? I mean, maybe she was drawn in by the money and the allure and the fame. Like, that's a possible argument, but that's not an argument against the industry or the company. I mean, that's just her trying to get money, trying to get famous, like getting drawn to these sorts of things. And the other thing is like, yeah, she's obviously excited here. She's really happy. She just got her contract and we have proof that she signed it right away. So I think this whole story is wholly debunked already. We talked about her making way more money than she claimed. We talked about her working for longer than she claimed. And also the intimidation factor has been debunked too.
Guys, I'm on contract with Bang Bros now for 6 months. I'm only shooting with Bang Bros.
For some reason, Mia doubles down on her lie about only making under 12 scenes.
So mine are trash and there's only 11. Please move on.
When actual clickable evidence can be found at factsbeatfiction.com, clearly pointing out all of her 28 scenes. Also, Mia, you might want to stop spreading poor advice.
Bank on OnlyFans, and it's 3 buttons away to take everything down if they so choose to in the future.
Okay, now we're talking about OnlyFans again. But before we get to that, yeah, now she's talking about how many scenes she did, how many videos she did. She claims 12, but I think they said it was around 28, which is just another, like, she's just trying to change the numbers and manipulate the information and trying to reframe the story in her favor. And then, yeah, the OnlyFans thing, as this video is about to debunk, I mean, I believe there's a option to delete everything on your OnlyFans account if you want to like go clean and like do another job one day, you know, just like erase your dirty pictures and clean your laundry. But the thing is, the internet never forgets, as they're about to say, as everyone knows, like this stuff stays out there. You can't just delete something, especially if you have any prominence at all. If you have any viewers or fans, like there's always going to be people making copies, reposting them on other sites, stuff like that. So I think what we're seeing here is a troubled young lady who regrets her past, but at the same time, she doesn't want to let it go. She doesn't want to change her name and let this problem be. She keeps bashing her people and her former employers. And this isn't really about defending that industry too hard. Like, I know there's some qualms and some questions about this kind of negative nude photography and videos and stuff. I understand that. More about today is just, you know, debunking Mia Khalifa, showing that her company had proven her wrong, and just kind of getting this story out there so people know that they're being manipulated. She's kind of trying to cash in. I would say it's kind of like a situation where she wants to have her cake and eat it too. Like, she wants to have this prominence, and she wants to even keep her name, which was created when she started this job. It's not her real name. She's using the stage name, and she wants to keep that name out there because she knows it's given her attention. And really, it's just her, Yeah, attention seeking, trying to blame her problems on everyone else, not taking responsibility, and just being like a typical, like misleading, fake news pushing kind of person. So, with that said, that about wraps this thing up. I think we debunked all of her claims fully and clearly. If you guys want to check out this full video or more videos about that, there are plenty links below. Thanks for your time today. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Subscribe if you're new, hit the bell for notifications, and until next time, have a great day.